Hi, I'm Max.
And I'm Skylar.
Recently, we decided to start watching Bob's Burgers to see what it was all about.
And it didn't take us long to become completely obsessed with the show.
But one of the things we love the most about the show is the brilliant end credit sequences.
Which is why we created this podcast.
Each week, we're going episode by episode to talk about the elaborate end credits.
We're excited to have you join us right here on Bob's Credits.
We'll make sure that Bob's Burgers end credits get the credit they're due.
Hi, Max.
Oh, man. She's so upset at me. We were supposed to record so long ago, and I've been taking forever. And right before we hit record, I just dropped the news that I didn't plan a chip-chipperoo, and I'm devastated.
He's devastated. I have a call in an hour, which I already moved back for Max. And so he was sitting there trying to figure out a chip-chipperoo, and I said, we gotta go.
We gotta go. We gotta improvise.
We gotta go.
It's Halloween when we're recording this. Wait, hold on. Shut up. Oh.
Hello.
No, that's not how we start this podcast.
No, hey, I was going somewhere.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go back. I'm a bad improviser. I got a yes and. Okay.
Yes, and.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, and.
Yes.
I just wanted to set the stage. So I was just going to say, hello, listeners. It is a very gloomy day in Los Angeles. Lots of fog. It is Halloween, October 31st.
As we're recording this, by now, when you're listening to this, you're going to be so over Halloween, but we are in the throes.
And it's Halloween today. And what are we recording today, Max?
A Halloween episode of Bob's Burgers.
Chip a boo.
Oh. It's almost like you had that slightly planned.
Don't make me reveal more of our conversation before we hit play.
Oh my God, it was so bad. Let's see if I can come up with one here.
Okay.
Well, I'll just go on your chip a woo, and it's just chip a woo.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
See, you're a good improviser.
Except for that, I didn't yes and you twice. I think now
it's okay.
And that's like the number one rule of improvising.
We're learning. I am so excited to get to our Bob's Burgers third Halloween episode. As I was doing my research for this, I realized that this is probably the most underrated Halloween episode.
You think so?
I think so, because it's very good, and nobody says it's their favorite. So I'm excited to shine a light on a very, very good Halloween episode that doesn't get as much credit as it deserves.
Yeah, I get what you mean when you say it's underrated. We'll get into it. Let's get into it. We got some stuff to do. You know, we got a little business to take care of, as we usually do at the beginning. But first of all, we got a new patron to thank. Lisa Gilsdorf, thank you so much for subscribing to our Patreon. We hope you're enjoying all the bonus stuff we're posting on there. I'm doing the new thing, I think, where I'm going to start making burger pun names out of our new patrons.
Please.
So Lisa kind of gets to be the first one here.
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but you're not going to make a pun out of their name. You're doing burger puns with their names.
Yeah, unless it gets too hard to always be a burger, but I'm going to try and
we're going to start there.
I'm going to try and burger pun their name. So
okay.
Lisa Gilsdorf, you are going to be the Lisa American Cheese Gilsdorf burger.
Yum, a classic.
And I promised our Patreon Twitter follower, Jeffrey Fishbach, who we thanked a couple episodes ago, that I would pun his name as well. So, the Jeffrey Fish Bok Choy burger is available at Bob's currently.
I love it. Lisa, thank you so much. Jeff, thank you again.
And thank you to all of our other patrons. Hey, if you have subscribed and you want us to pun your name in the future and we didn't get to, just, message
Shoot
us on
us
Patreon.
a DM.
Yeah, DM us on Instagram, Bob's Credits, all across the board.
And for those of you who are new here, because we do have a lot of new listeners, which is super exciting, we do have a Patreon, as you probably have deduced. But just so you know what's up, we do, for our $5 a month tier, we do a bunch of extra episodes, all Bob themed, usually. So go check it out. My favorite episode are the Gene Song Showdown, and probably we do this whole thing where we try and figure out which of Tina's crushes is is the best for her, and it's like my favorite episode. So go check that out if you want more Bobs.
Yeah, and those two are going to have continuations because we kind of split it up because we split it up by like seasons. So there's going to be part 2s of those episodes. Yeah, it's just really over on Patreon. We're doing stuff that goes beyond kind of the episodes and the credits, which is what we've got going on here in our main feed.
Perfect segue to
some burger puns.
Let's do it.
Okay. These are all themed.
Halloween themed.
Halloween, let's say scary movies, but scary themed too, because they're not all movies.
Okay, got it.
You ready for your first pun?
Yes.
The paranormal pepper jacktivity burger.
Max.
Bob.
Oh.
Your next pun is Rosemary's Baby Spinach Burger.
That's really good. Bob.
Max. Your next pun is the Gruyere Witch Project.
Oh, that sounds really yummy. Oh, we could do like a black truffle sauce on it to make it witchy.
Oh, like that Black Widow burger they had for a while. Where was it when Black Widow was out? There's like a Black Widow burger. It was like
at a fast food chain.
Yeah, something, and they had like it was served in like a black bun.
Oh yeah,
didn't look very appealing.
I hope it's you. Is it you?
That's me.
Yay!
And your final pun is the cauliflower's cumin from inside the house burger.
That's so good. I think maybe Bob.
Yes, that is Bob. Okay,
all right,
good.
Not bad.
You saved yourself with those last 2 there.
Thank you.
Should we get into this episode? Get all
Let's
super
do it.
Halloween-y
I
and
love
talk
it.
about it? Okay. Skylar, can we have the title and synopsis for Season 5, Episode 2, please?
My pleasure. The title, Tina and the Real Ghost. Well, a teenage boy ghost is haunting the restaurant. But no worries, after a little Ouija board and some seance wine, the Belchers trap the ghost named Jeff in a shoebox. Not long after, Tina and the hottie without a body make it official as a couple, a la Lars and the Real Girl. Until Tammy steals him, that is. ...
This episode came out on November 2nd, 2014. It was written by Stephen Davis and Kelvin Yu and directed by Boonbon Lim and Kyung-hee Lim.
Amazing.
Came out on November 2nd. I find that interesting.
I do believe this is the first holiday episode that comes out after Halloween, but that does happen. And I think it happened last year, too.
Yeah, I guess, if Halloween, if November 2nd was a Sunday, if it was on Sundays back then.
I feel like it was probably a production thing.
Yeah, I read that around this time, there was a lot of shuffling around because the Fox lineup was getting... Mulaney was out and it was not doing very well, so they took it off the air and they were shuffling some Bob's episodes in there.
What's Mulaney? Like John Mulaney?
John Mulaney had a show that did not do well at all.
Oh, wow.
Ratings-wise.
I find like the lineup and like information like this super interesting, more of the business aspect of it.
Yeah, so they just when that happens, I guess they shuffle some of like their known hits into these slots to try and like save... I don't know. I don't know how it operates.
Save the numbers.
But I feel like that a lot of that was going on here, so that might have played a role.
Yep.
Thoughts on this episode? You said it was underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you... It's underrated because it doesn't like pop into the forefront of your head as a Halloween episode, right?
Exactly. I think that's because we don't really see them trick-or-treating, and most of the kids are not in Halloween costumes because the 13-year-olds aren't trick-or-treating. They're going to, what's it called? A tomb? Not a tomb. A mausoleum.
Yeah. They're
doing this cool teenage ritual. So the only 2 costumes we have are Louise. I think she said she's Ryan. She doesn't say Ryan Gosling, but she says she's the guy from Drive, the trailer.
Yeah.
Which I didn't catch that joke before. I think that's so funny that she's probably too young to watch the movies. She saw the trailer. And then we have Jean as...
One of my favorite costumes, and again, I know we just promoted our Patreon so much, but we did a whole like costumes ranking, and there was a lot of fighting back and forth with me and Skylar when we were ranking the costumes.
About this one, I think.
This one, Jean as Turner and Hooch. which was a movie I loved watching as a kid, a Tom Hanks movie with starring him and a dog, which is like, come on.
Tom Hanks and a dog, it doesn't get more wholesome.
But on that our bonus episode, Skylar and I went back and forth on this one. I love it. I've got a little figurine of Gene in this character. It was probably one of the first, besides like my Gene Funko Pop that I like, Bob's Burger thing I bought.
Tell us the costume detail you noticed when we were watching yesterday.
Yeah, we've probably seen this episode. I can't even say how many times because we watched all the Halloween episodes.
So much.
Yeah. But I noticed this time around that he like curled his hair on the Tom Hanks side to look like 80s Tom Hanks hair. And the left side he kept straight with the little dog ear. And I thought that was such a great detail.
Such a good detail. I also want to say this is a very Ryan Gosling heavy episode.
I mean, this was probably, let's say 2014. This is like prime Ryan Gosling time.
Well, it was probably drive time.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen Lars and the Real Girl, which this episode is pretty much inspired by, maybe you could say a parody of, Ryan Gosling was in Lars and the Real Girl, and Louise is going as Ryan Gosling for Halloween. So I just, wanted to point out all the Ryans.
There's a lot of Goss love on here.
I mean, how can you not? No Ryan Reynolds love. I think people get them confused sometimes, and I do.
You get them confused.
I do not. How could I ever confuse that man with Ryan Gosling?
Skylar's going to go on her Ryan Reynolds rant.
I'm not. I actually went on a Ryan Reynolds rant in season 1, and I just like ranted for 5 minutes, and I was like, Max, can you please cut that? So
did I cut it?
You did. You did.
Okay.
Luckily. DM me if you want to know my thoughts. Anyway, stop yourself. Stop yourself from saying that. Okay.
She bit her tongue.
But back to what we were saying, that this is an underrated episode. I think you're right. It doesn't pop to the foreground because you don't have all the kids in their costumes. They don't go trick-or-treating. But one thing I noticed when we were watching yesterday is there are, every single line or every third line is a funny joke. And every character has like 17 hit lines. Like it's so good.
Yeah. I think part of why it doesn't stand out as a Halloween episode like the first two that we've had, Full Bars and Fortnite, is because it doesn't take, like, those two take place like on Halloween. We're seeing like Halloween happen, and then this like has so much stuff leading up to Halloween, and then Halloween night's kind of just like the very end,
right?
With the costumes and everything. But yeah, I think we decided this is officially where Tammy and Jocelyn are friends officially.
Ooh.
Are like a duo.
Yep.
And Jocelyn, I think this is where I can finally say it. If you've been listening, you know how obsessed I am with Jocelyn. She is probably my favorite side character, neck and neck, maybe pulls up a little ahead of Jen, the babysitter. This is where she's full Jocelyn. This is the Jocelyn I love. This is where every line is a zinger. She's in it regularly. And I think this is where we first see that these kids at the school, this group,
yeah,
they're like a strong part of this show, and they're going to be featured regularly moving forward.
What do you mean this group? Or you mean the duo?
I mean the group of like the kids, like Zeke,
yes,
and Jimmy Pesto Jr. and Tammy and Jocelyn,
yes,
and then like Louise's friends, like Regular Size Rudy and Daryl, and they're all going to like play more of a role moving forward.
Exactly.
And making more appearances, and they just become stronger characters.
It's so true. And that's what I was going to say. First of all, the stuff at home in this episode is so good. I mean, we start with a seance and Linda's seance wine. By the way, if you ever want to start a band, can it be called Seance Wine?
Yeah.
Okay,
someone out there start a band.
So we have all the home life stuff is just phenomenal. But then we also get the school stuff, which is so good. Zeke is hysterical. Tammy, and also I just love a good romance high school. Like if Max is like, do you want to watch a 90s rom-com? I am like on the couch in 2 seconds flat. So we got this cool, not only is it parodying.
I'm always saying that too. Like, yeah.
You never say that. That's all I want in this life. Although we did watch a 90s high school horror film, and I ate that up. What was it
The
called?
Faculty.
I loved it.
That might have been 2000s. It's a borderline, I think.
Okay, maybe it's
Maybe it was
2000.
99. You might be right. It's right around there.
You have all the archetypes. You have like the goth girl who's misunderstood, and it's
so fun.
I eat it up with a spoon.
It was written by Kevin Williamson, who wrote Scream, so it was kind of like following on Scream's
It was so
success.
fun.
Yeah.
But speaking of that whole high school thing, we get that in this episode, like Tammy stealing Tina's boyfriend. Rude.
Typical Tammy.
Typical Tammy. She's the worst. And Jimmy Pesto Jr. is the worst at the beginning of this episode.
He's so mean to Tina in this episode.
He's so rude, and he only likes her when she has another boy.
Yeah. Josh or
Yeah.
Jeff.
Yeah. Oh, she has a thing for Jays.
Oh, I guess so, huh? Jimmy Pesto, Josh, Jeff, Joan. Are all of her crushes Jonas? Are all of her crushes Jays?
What?
Did we miss this? Oh, we're gonna have to go back and listen to our
Oh my
Patreon
gosh.
Tina Crush episode.
Oh my gosh.
How did we miss that?
Anyway, so for me, overall,
Gyro? Wasn't Gyro the sexy dance fighting guy?
but is that a G? But it's same.
It's Jay.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. What?
Okay, we might be onto something here.
Whoa. You beautiful, brilliant man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyway, this is a home run episode for me. And I have to say, like, I love at the end, everyone, it's very like end of a movie, very cinematic. Like everyone has this like aha moment. Like Tina's like, I just wanted someone to be by my side, but I can be by myself. And Zeke was like, yeah. And I wanted to believe there was something more when we died. I just loved that. Like everybody has an epiphany. It was the perfect end to the episode.
So good. I want to give a shout out to Nice Rice Designs on Instagram, one of our favorite
Obsessed.
Bob's Burgers mashup art accounts, because they took this Jeff the Ghost, and on What We Do in the Shadows, there's a Jeff the Ghost that Nadia calls Jesk. She doesn't understand what his weird name is, and they did a mashup of the two, and it's just so perfect. There's two Jeff ghosts that are hilarious.
Wait. That I'll get back to fawning over Nice Rice Designs because I'm truly obsessed. But
go follow them; they're incredible.
They did the same joke. Louise chose the name Jeff. She's like, I tried to figure out the stupidest, name for a ghost, and then Nadja from What We Do in the Shadows. She's used to like,
Gregor. His name is
Gregor, and so they found. I guess Jeff is kind of a lame name.
Sorry, Jeff's out there.
I like it.
We didn't say it.
It feels solid to me.
Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff.
Jeff sounds solid to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Jeffs. I mean, this is coming from a guy named Max, so don't worry.
But you have to go follow Nice Rice Designs. I'm sure you probably already do if you're listening to this. But besides their amazing art, what I love, they have just such an appreciation for pop culture that like it goes above and beyond, and I'm just like, yes, you are my kind of people.
Yeah, and they're just the mashups are perfection every time.
So
they
good.
Just knock it out of the park. Every single thing they do.
Yep.
Getting back to the episode, I got a couple of voice actors to call out here.
All right, let's do it.
So we have our buddy Jordan Peele back.
Is he Marcus?
No, he's not Marcus. I'll get to Marcus in a second.
Okay,
Jordan
okay.
Peele is back as Dawn this time. Dawn. Dawn, one of the paranormal
The
investigators.
Southern one?
Yeah.
So good.
So Phil and Dawn are the paranormal investigators. They are named after... Do you already have this fact? Oh, they're named after the Everly Brothers, who are Phil and Dawn. The Everly Brothers sing, like, wake up, little Susie, wake up.
Yeah.
And all I would,
Are you okay?
yeah, I'm trying to think of how the song goes. Da 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 do. All I have to do is dream. What's the line before that?
Dream.
Whenever I see you,
Heart
I want to
is
see
blue,
you.
true.
Okay, Chip chipperoo.
Oh,
All I have to do.
That's it.
Oh, I could have done that. Oh man, it would have been perfect. And then I've been like, drop this fun fact, and I started. I've ruined the Chip chipperoo.
I'm sorry,
this episode.
hun.
Were you about to read something, or can I finish my voice actors thing
Please
here?
finish your voice actors.
You mentioned Marcus, who I think is a fantastic character.
He's so good.
The exterminator who comes in and says the basement is haunted.
Now, I do have a fact if you want me to like slip it in right here.
Unless you want me to name the voice actor and then you do the Marcus fact?
Sure.
Is it a Marcus fact, or is it the voice actor related?
It's a Marcus fact.
Okay, let's do the voice actor
Okay, I'm glad we had this whole
thing on the mic.
Yep.
People look, at this point, people want to know what goes on behind
They
the
want to
scenes.
know
They
how
wanna
the
hear-
sausage is made, how the burgers are made.
Yeah. Marcus is voiced by Andre Royo. That's hard to say. Who is best known as, you'll know this because I binge watched this after surgery.
The Shield. No, The Wire. The Wire.
Yes.
Sorry, I get those two words confused.
Yeah, but they're kind of similar. They're both cop shows. But he was Bubbles, who
I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew it.
great actor, really good actor.
Bubbles.
Great on The Wire. One of the best characters on The Wire. But this was his only appearance.
On Bob's?
No, yeah. Well, yeah. I think it was his only voice appearance, and Marcus's only appearance. Who I would love to see this character again. I thought he was hilarious.
He's fantastic. And actually, did you know this is not technically the first time he has appeared?
Really? Okay,
Well,
here we go. Bring it.
His van.
Oh, we've seen his pun van. Okay, which pun is it?
So his van, Hugs Not Bugs, was actually featured in the opening credits to Topsy.
Wow, okay. So he has driven up in the opening credits before.
Exactly. It's a pink van and it's very cool. And the writers gave the audience a little wink.
And you gave me one just now. You still doing it?
Am I making you uncomfortable?
Yeah. You know that doesn't make a noise, right? So people can't hear you doing that?
I'm just trying to make you uncomfortable.
Should I make a noise for it every time you do it? Click. Oh, you did one. Okay.
Okay. So Bob is trying to find a new exterminator. He's going through the phone book and he says, "What's wrong with the exterminators in this town?" Because all of them are punny.
Great line.
Great line. Great. Thank you. Now you sound like a creature in a horror film. And while we're kind of in the credits, this is the 4th episode in a row that there are no opening credit sequences.
Crazy.
So at least we have an exterminator in this one.
Wow. Okay.
All right. So I probably should have said this when we were talking about Lars and the Real Girl, but the script cover is a parody of the movie poster. And I have to say this might be one of my favorite script covers. So I'll show you in a second. But I mean, it's detail for detail, the same as the Lars and the Real Girl cover. So we have Tina sitting on a chair holding flowers in front of a coffee table, and Jeff is on the table in his little shoebox. So if you want to take a look at these two.
Oh, it's perfect.
Like, look at the title.
So good. So good.
It's really fantastic.
We're going to post it side by side for everyone.
So those are the fun facts I have for you.
Should we get into the end credits?
Yes, please.
Okay. So the final moments before the end credits are the paranormal investigators are kind of like wrapping up at the restaurant. They're trying to get out without paying. And there's a little back and forth with Bob and Linda.
Bye, Bob. Bye, Linda.
You can't leave. You have to pay for your food.
We can't pay you.
Why?
Should we tell him, Phil?
Mm-hmm.
We've been dead for 12 years.
Oh, my God, Bobby, they're ghosts.
I knew it. Bye.
Wait, hold on.
Watch out, Bobby. They're going to walk right through you.
Do you take credit cards?
Oh, they're not ghosts.
Okay, I just figured I'd let it play a little bit. So tell us what happens there, Skylar.
In what we just saw?
You're just going into the end credits there.
Okay, so they try and I think that was the perfect way to end a Halloween episode. We've been dead for 13 years or whatever they say. And then we head into the opening credits. Pause, though.
The end credits.
The end credits. I just remembered I was just reminded because Linda decorates with bats and you see them in this last scene. The opening to this episode is so good. Linda's line about smiling bats because they're like happy it's Halloween or something. I can't remember.
Singing a song about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this episode just
So
hits
good.
it. All right. So we see the opening credits and what is in front of us?
So we're in the generic. These are the end credits, Skylar. I just want to remind you.
Did I say opening again?
Yeah.
Words are hard for me.
So we're in the kitchen, our generic credit sequence with Bob, Louise, and Tina prepping burgers. But we hear like this little theme that we heard in a montage in the episode.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like a Jeff montage, and it's like a ooh Jeff. That wasn't part of it. I wasn't strumming a guitar. I hit my mic, and there's like a Jeff, and we see floating in the forefront for us, but behind them prepping burgers is the Jeff box, shoebox floating by from left to right across the screen.
It's a very satisfying float too,
Yeah.
like someone's levitating it, and it has Jeff written on the box.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone else is just going about their business, prepping the burgers.
No one's paying attention to Jeff behind them.
Yet.
So they're just prepping the burgers, and then we see Jeff, the shoebox, float by the...
Jeff the ghost.
Jeff the ghost. Sorry, he's not a shoebox. He's an actual ghost because he's floating through the restaurant. He floats on the other side now through the service window, like from right to left, as Linda kind of like crosses and going in the different direction, looks back and acknowledges that a shoebox just floated
love
by.
it.
No big deal.
I love it.
No big deal. She gets the burger, which means the customer in there who sees a shoebox floating around too.
Yeah. I have an epiphany about these end credits that just came to me.
Okay.
I love this because the big reveal at the end of this episode is that Louise is like, guys, I made him up. And Bob's like, yeah, I know. He's the only one who's like, duh. This is like a wink to maybe he's real.
Mm-hmm.
Because
so it's a little more ambiguous. It adds to the...
Yes.
We don't know.
So maybe Jeff is real.
Yeah.
Je t'aime, mon chéri.
Okay, so Jeff floats by again, going from left to right, but over on the other side of the counter now.
Near the booths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like a... Je t'aime, je t'aime. Is Jeff French?
Well, oh my gosh, the character development in these credits.
Mm-hmm. Is this like a pun of or like a parody of something? This music
I don't
with the
know.
I don't understand the French.
Je t'aime, je le t'aime. I love it.
If anyone knows, let us know.
Yeah, mon chéri, I think he says.
He's just a French ghost.
He is a 13-year-old French ghost.
He's wearing a beret, and he's got a turtleneck and a pencil-thin mustache.
Oh, he likes the fromage. Oh my gosh. So Louise is the one who created the character, that he's 13. But now his voice reveals that he might be a very wise 25-year-old Frenchman with a Vespa.
Yeah, but he should not be dating Tina. That makes me uncomfortable. Jeff.
I know. Okay, maybe he's not what Tina created.
No.
Is Jeff even a French name? Jeff.
Jeff. It is now.
Le petit chef, oui. Il est mort.
What do you think he
Oh.
says at the end there?
I was hoping that you were pulling up the lyrics so you knew.
I
think
didn't pull up the lyrics for this one because I forgot that he whispers in this.
Max Miller.
Je te papite motel.
I think he says il est mort, like he is dead at the very end.
Uh-huh.
Play it through
Okay.
and I'll try and see what he says.
Le petit chef, oui. Il est mort.
What's
He does
le
say mort.
petit chèvre? That sounds like goat to meat.
Goat? Goat?
I think goat is chèvre because like goat cheese.
Okay, so he's a small goat
But maybe it's
that
like
died.
you know what? These 8 years of French that I took are really paying off right now.
Yeah.
So maybe it's
I feel that way every time we watch like a Spanish movie.
yeah, you're like
I'm
subtitles.
Yes, please.
Like le petit chou, which means like little cabbage. That's like a term of endearment. So maybe what he said is like a term of endearment, but I do think he says something about he is dead or I am dead at the end.
Okay. I like that he says I'm a little goat and I'm dead.
These very American subtitle interpretations are I am a little goat, he is dead.
I think this is better than us having looked up what he actually said, to be honest.
I think so.
What happens there, I let it play through because not much has happened. After Jeff makes his appearance on the other side of the counter, it's kind of just the three of them preparing burgers for a little while before Gene makes his appearance. But what happens when Gene makes his appearance in his burger costume?
Jeff, or I don't think his name's Jeff.
Goat.
Chèvre.
Chèvre.
Who do I know that speaks French that could tell me?
Do you want to phone a friend?
Yeah, I'd like
Okay.
to use my phone a friend,
Okay.
Max.
Call someone live on the podcast?
So Jeff, he makes a loop. He comes from in front of us where he started, from the right screen to the left, and he floats by as Gene walks by, and Gene 100% sees Jeff.
Is watching him, is kind of like smiling at him as they're both walking or as they're crossing the screen at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
As he's whispering, I am a goat and I am dead.
So Jeff is real.
And he's a goat.
You
You heard it here, folks.
So
Oh my God, Biscuit's little puppy paws twitching. He's having a little nap. He's probably
hopefully
dreaming
about
dreaming
dead
of-
goats.
Yeah, he's dreaming of ghost goats.
Or goat cheese.
Oh,
Mm.
yummy.
So what I love about this is it's kind of like it gives us some plot. Like maybe Jeff's alive. So major points for me.
Maybe Jeff will be back.
Maybe I'll be back.
I need Marcus and Jeff to come back.
I think it's good that Tina doesn't realize he's real because I think, she would try and get back together.
Yeah, she
With
needed,
that
she needed
box.
to let that one go.
Yep.
I don't know if we included Jeff in our... Did we include Jeff as one of our crushes?
No.
Oh, no, because this was season 5. We didn't get to Jeff yet.
Yay!
So Jeff will be in our next Tina Crush showdown.
Yes. I think we need to bring back some OG franchises. We have Did Jocelyn Make You Laugh? And are the end credits better than the
Oh,
episode?
you're right. Did Jocelyn make me laugh out loud in this episode? Every line I think she had, at least almost every line made
This
me
is
laugh
the beginning.
out loud.
This is where it all starts.
This is where it begins. Jocelyn starts with a J.
Ooh, maybe Tina will have a crush. A little Jocelyn crush. Are these end credits better than the episode themselves?
No.
Absolument no.
They are a perfect complement to the episode.
And what is your highlight and what is your low light?
You know what? I'm going to say when I score, just because
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll explain it. I know we're
Okay.
supposed to go over the highlights and list of it. So what about you? Do you have any you want to say before we score?
I don't have a low light here. I do want to say I have my number for scoring picked in my head, which I can elaborate on why then. But I think one of the highlights is that I didn't quite realize what a wink it was to like, no, Jeff is alive. So that's going to be my highlight. The whispering in French is also a highlight for me. All right.
We score on a scale of 1 to 10 H's at the end of Tina's Skylar, kicking it to you.
10.
10?
Yeah.
I am going to go 10 as well. I feel like we've had some really solid... They found the magic, I think, on these end credits. And yeah, we've had a few 10s in a row, it feels like.
3.
Yeah.
This might be our biggest 10 streak.
It might be. I didn't say my highlights on the list because I just want to say this is like perfection to me, and that we're in the kitchen, which I love, And it's just a little nod to the episode without much going on around it, but it's just like perfect. The music is great and fun.
Yes.
And I just love the little floating shoebox. And I love Jeff's theme song
It's so good.
and the acknowledgement he gets from the two people who acknowledge him in the restaurant.
Exactly. That is exactly why I gave it a 10. I think recently we did a very sparse credits and we didn't score it very high because I wish I remembered which one. But they didn't pick the right details. It wasn't. So, in order for kind of a simpler end credit sequence to get a 10, you have to pick like the smallest detail from the episode and bring it to life. And that's what happened here for me.
Yeah, you could pick the wrong detail and you just don't get our approval.
And leave us wanting more.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I am so satisfied.
It's you gotta find the right.
To be subtle, I think, is harder than to be flashy.
I agree.
Yeah. And on that note, I'm craving some goat cheese.
Okay, we're gonna eat some goat cheese and some goat. Thank you everyone for listening. Follow us on social media, Bob's Credits. We'll be doing giveaways on there soon. And leave us some reviews, please. We've enjoyed your reviews. Come DM us, chat with us. You know the deal. Skylar, is there anything you want to say before we get out of here?
I'm going to say, stay spooky.
Stay